What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? My name's Bella. This is William Shakespeare.
No, I'm not!
Not yet. And we are going to be reading my poem today. Anyway, guys, today my poem is titled Nightstand with a hyphen in the middle.
Very, very, very classy.
Alrighty. Sunrise in your bed, and the blankets are thin, but your body is warm against mine. And the cold breath of the wind and the morning dew linger outside your window. And your nest of blankets cradles me, and your dozing gray eyes sink me like the Titanic as I pick up my rattling bones. And I'll pack my bags and leave, like people always do. And in a few weeks I'll see you, and although I'll miss your eyes, I'll look away.
Snazzy.
This poem came to me in French class. I
Oh,
was
that's
very
even
sleep
beautiful.
deprived.
Oh, that's even more beautiful.
Wonderful. Today,
Now let's
look for our 10 figurative language elements. Alright, what is our first? Yippee!
Okay. So, first we have a simile.
A simile. So, and your dozing gray eyes sink me like the Titanic is comparing closed gray eyes, naturally, and the terrible tragedy of the Titanic's sinking, in which there were very few survivors.
Very few.
Love me a good tragedy. Next up, we have
Is metaphor.
a metaphor comparing two alike things by calling one the other. For my metaphor, we have nest of blankets. Now, this pile of blankets is not necessarily the same as a bird's nest, but I make that comparison. Next we've got
Alliteration.
alliteration. 2 words or more starting with similar sounds. In my first stanza, we have, but your body is warm against mine, and in the 4th stanza, we have, leave like people always do, starting with that l sound in the 4th and the b sound in the 1st.
Next we have onomatopoeia.
An onomatopoeia. Love that. That is a word spelled the same as it sounds. And in my example, I have the word rattling bones. Now, my friend William, do bones actually rattle?
No.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know.
Next one we have personification.
Personification, one of my favorites. I love things that aren't people.
Oh.
Personification is giving human qualities to something that is not alive usually. And in my example, I have the cold breath of the wind. Now, as far as I'm aware, the wind doesn't have lungs, but that information could change at any time. I do not know.
We do not know.
But for now, the wind can't breathe.
The next one is hyperbole.
Hyperbole, an exaggeration. My example is, in the 4th stanza, and I'll pack my bags and leave like people always do. I wanted to allude to some previous abandonment or loss to the narrator, in which they are used to people leaving them, which is why they are leaving before the other person awakes in this poem. Sort of being proactive with that.
Next we have repetition.
We've got repetition. I love me some repetition of words.
You have a lot.
I do have a lot of repetition because I kept using the word and in this poem because I am a big fan of run-on sentences and commas.
Yes.
We have and twice in every other stanza except for the first. We've only got it once up there because I had to start the sentence somehow. Can't start a sentence with and, except for the fact that you can.
You can.
Next up.
We got assonance.
Assonance, such a fun word. That is...
It's not.
Okay. News to me. Assonance is where a vowel sound, A, E, I, or O, or U, is repeated in...
Look at the camera dead on.
in consecutive words. Let's see which one I started with. In the first stanza, we've got sunrise in your bed, and the blankets are thin, but your body is warm against mine. Now we've got that prominent I sound, which I was stressing in this first stanza right here.
Next we have consonants.
Consonants, the opposite of assonants. This is where consonant letters become more prominent in a poem. I have that in the second stanza. The cold breath of the wind and the morning dew linger outside your window. And that prominent D sound.
And then lastly, we have allusion.
An allusion, alluding to something that a lot of people know about. Now, I'm sure you all are aware of the tragedy of the Titanic hitting an iceberg.
Very crazy, very wild.
It's wild.
They really could have just...
They should have steered away, guys.
They really should have, or they should have just hit it dead on.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh well.
Like,
they would have saved the ship doing that, probably.
Mm-hmm. Now,
but we're not scientists, so we can't prove it.
The funny thing about that is the Titanic was supposed to be indestructible.
It was not.
It was not.
It was built horribly.
It was built really badly. Now, I also snuck in a little allusion of my own in this line. And your dozing gray eyes sink me like the Titanic. The gray eyes also allude to the iceberg sinking the Titanic, because that is what happened, I think.
It did happen, though.
It did.
Apparently.
Whoa.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Should have had more lifeboats.
They should have.
But they didn't.
That was bad planning, guys. Do better next time.
Do better next time.
There will be a next time.
There will not be a next time.
Alrighty. Now that we've finished up this poem, I was gonna say something. I found my inspiration from a bunch of different sources, mostly songs. Je te lazoe de mots, which is a French song. Don't know the words, even though I'm learning French class. Even though I'm learning French, but I think the vibe of it fits this poem.
Ah, yes, I'm learning French class.
I'm learning French class, guys. I also found inspiration from the song Linger. I do not remember the current artist, but I wanted to use the word linger in my poem. Do you have to let it linger? Alright guys, as we close out this video, I want to remind you all to stay homies.
Why did you do that?